Welcome to my channel. I'm Deborah Gray. I'm a journalist and I cover a variety of socio-political and human rights issues. Now, in case you're wondering why am I so made up today, it is because I want to tackle the concept of stereotyping, specifically gender stereotyping. In the past, whenever I've gone out wearing this blue lipstick, well-meaning people have asked me if I'm transgender. Now, I'm not offended by that question, but it has made me acutely aware of how people who are not cisgender are associated with certain stereotypes like so-called exaggerated makeup. Now, I would personally never shame anyone for how they present themselves. The color, size, and shape of somebody's body parts is none of my business. I've always believed in bodily agency and I encourage people of all genders to exercise that agency, which is why I think the Handbook on Combating Gender Stereotypes, which was released by the Indian Supreme Court in August 2023, is a welcome step in the direction of fostering greater understanding about the concept of gender and helping us cultivate a more just, a more equal, and a more compassionate society. So let's dive right in. This is part 2 on my series on gender justice, specifically the Handbook on Combating Gender Stereotypes that was released by the Indian Supreme Court. I think it is important to have a closer look at this handbook's contents because it is helping set the ground for greater understanding for concepts of gender and sexuality, which ultimately might even help us understand and even embrace the concept of marriage equality, a case that is pending before the Supreme Court. The court has reserved its judgment in the matter. The handbook debunks several stereotypes believed to be inherent characteristics of women. These include the belief that women are overtly emotional, illogical, poor decision makers, or more passive. It also debunks the belief that unmarried or young women are incapable of making important life decisions, and that women from marginalized communities have diminished cognitive abilities. Finally, it gives respect to women who are child-free by choice. Next, the handbook tackles the subject of gender roles, and here it does something I appreciate a lot. Instead of using words like mother or father, it refers to parents of all genders. It reiterates that people of all genders are equally suited to the task of caring for others, thus, women alone should not have to bear the responsibility of looking after children and the elderly. It also reminds us that people of all genders are equally capable of doing household chores and working outside the home to earn an income. More importantly, it asserts that a woman's love for her children is not diminished if she works outside the home to earn an income. It brings to light important concepts like unpaid domestic labor. Finally, it reminds us that the Constitution of India guarantees equal rights to individuals of all genders. Finally, the handbook looks at stereotypes associated with survivors of sexual assault. Now, many of us have friends, family members, colleagues who often question whether or not a survivor was a genuine victim. And I find that term to be actually terribly offensive. And I'm glad that this handbook is tackling all those notions of what it means to be a genuine victim head on and dismantling them systematically. It says, and I quote, "The clothing or attire of a woman neither indicates that she wishes to engage in sexual relations, nor is it an invitation to touch her." End quote. It also says that just because a woman smokes cigarettes or consumes alcohol, it does not mean she wants sexual relationships with a man. It also busts myths like rapists are strangers or that women never speak to their abusers again. It reminds us that rapists are often family members, friends, co-workers, etc. These are people a woman might be forced to interact with due to socio-economic factors. It further says that just because a woman does not report sexual assault immediately doesn't mean that her complaint isn't genuine. But most significantly, it debunks the belief that genuine survivors of sexual assault must cry incessantly, look depressed, or feel suicidal. The handbook also addresses several stereotypes associated with victims and survivors of sexual assault who are either sex workers or women from oppressed communities or women who are disabled. I will examine all of these in my next video. Thanks for watching.